I know Ken because he's been a supporter of my organization, Extraordinary Life, of which I'm extremely grateful to. So I'm familiar, which is touching, and he will share with you shortly. He's here to not only share his story, but to help honor his sister. So please, ladies and gentlemen, let's give a warm welcome to Kenneth Parker.
Well, good evening to everyone, and Terry, I want to thank you for the partnership that we developed. And my family and I just moved out in this area about a year ago from New Jersey. As you can see, my sister Patricia, as they stated, could not be here tonight, and just wanted to really talk to you briefly about a story of my life in terms of the impact of the foster care system and what one individual can do to change one's life. In the early 1960s, there was a lady by the name of Ella Melba Parker who had 10 children in southern New Jersey. She died at 45 years old, and I was 2 years old at the time. And there was a gentleman by the name of Willie Lee Parker, who was our father. And 6 months after my mother's death, my father left 10 children behind. Moved to Florida, Pensacola, Florida. Subsequently, was in a bar argument with some gentlemen, threatened to kill the gentleman. They came back and shot and killed my father. 10 children were left without a mother and father, sent into the foster care system in southern New Jersey for about 7 or 8 years, going through multiple foster care families. And I was 2 at the time, and I had older brothers and sisters who were much older, 14, 17, 16, who understood the significance of what had occurred. Some of our stories and our lives in terms of how we've moved from that period of time have differed. I've had my older brother Alvin, who was 17 at the time when my father basically left the family, and he took the brunt of abuse. He's 64 years old right now, and he's done 32 years in the prison system. I've had a brother in Los Angeles, Willie Lee Parker, named after my father, who died homeless in the streets of Los Angeles. I've had another sister, Willie Lee, Willie Mae, we call her, who died of drugs and mental illness. In the 7 years that we were in these foster care families, there was this great woman by the name of Patricia Ann Parker, who was 22 years old at the time of my mother and father's death, who basically saw us go into the foster care system, but understood that importance of her family, her brothers and sisters, and understand that she wanted to make sure that we were okay. So she devised a plan to work with the foster care families, to partner with them, bring our family back together. She figured out a way. As an educator, she had just graduated teachers college, and she said to the foster care parents, I like to go to their teacher conferences. I like to take them off your hands during the weekend and be with them. My sister was 22 years old and figured out that strategy. There was a gentleman by the name of Harvey Johnson who was an attorney who went to school with her as a young person. He became an attorney. He partnered with my sister. My sister basically partnered with Harvey, and they began to devise a plan to go after and challenge the state of New Jersey in terms of her ability to raise us. She went to the table in terms of they wanted to prove ownership of a home in order to bring us home. Harvey Johnson took our case, fought the state of New Jersey. We went to settlement table. We had to have an ownership of a home. There was a gentleman by the name of Alan Schatz a major developer in the community that we live. My sister did not have enough money to buy that home. This gentleman, Alan Schatz, put down the money to buy our first home. When I see all of you, that's what I think of Alan Schatz. I think about Harvey Johnson. I think about my sister at 22 years old. She brought every single one of us home and raised every single one of us. She's 66 years old, had an operation last week on her heart. She was able to go and not only graduate an undergraduate degree, but get 2 master's degrees. Now, I was asked in terms of what does she mean to me? You know, I know that, God has something on my life. I started in Atlantic City Electric Company in the landscaping department and rose to become the president of Atlantic City Electric Company, and then came here with Pepco Holdings then to do public policy. And I know it's not because of me. I know it's because of someone by the name of Patricia Ann Parker, who loved me, who cared for me, who gave her life for me. She never married, calls me every single morning, tells me to keep my feet on the ground, tells me to make sure that I give back to others. And she means the world to me. If not for us, for her, our family doesn't come together. On December 18th, 67 people will gather together in the state of New Jersey prior to the holidays for a family party that she established many years ago. The tradition, she's the matriarch. And we want to talk about family, that's what family's about. And I'm going to leave you with this. I never knew my mother, but there's this great saying in my home that my sister Pat gave to plaque to everyone in my family. And the saying goes, and I'll leave you with this: don't down the one who's down today. Help them in their sorrow. This old world is a funny old world, and you may be down tomorrow. Thank you very much.
It's very clear to see that this isn't your regular policy guy in Washington, but a real bright light from Kidsafe's standpoint. And we were really sorry that Patricia Ann couldn't be here tonight to accept this award. So we boxed it up nice and big so that Ken can carry it back to her for her heroism and incredible love and commitment to her family.
Thank you.
Thank you.